So you're wanting to start jiu-jitsu. And of course, that is the best decision you could have ever made. Why? Because it's one of the best sports out there, in my opinion. Now, the reason why we're starting this video is because we have to do diligence about our gyms and our instructors and where we go. Now, I've said it once and I'll say it many times. Go buy yourself a gi for $100 and go to 3 different gyms. And that's going to give you some wherewithal of what the gym's like, what the instructor's like, and what the community is like. And you really want all 3 of those to be in a symbiotic, fluid motion, if you will. And the reason why this is because when you do jiu-jitsu and you fall in love with it and become addicted to it, just like I am and everybody else who trains, we want to go somewhere where we're not going to dread to go to the gym, because that has happened in my past where I have actually instructed a gym for a friend of mine for about 6 months to a year. And one of those locations that I was at, there were a few people in the community that I wasn't very fond of. And after about, like I said, 6 months or so, I had to call it quits and say, hey, we either need to get rid of the guy or you need to get rid of myself. And with that, where I stepped down the law and he said, hey man, if you need to get rid of anybody, get rid of anybody. And the reason why I say that is because we don't really want to kick anybody out. It's just more of the fact that, vibes really matter, because we want to have a safe environment when we train. Now, I want to watch just a couple clips really quick about black belts, and this is going to go on into the other one where, we talk about the right gym, the right instructor, right? Because with that gym, we want something very clean, bathrooms, we can go on that subject different. But this is mainly about your instructor for this one, okay? Because the community makes a difference, the location makes a difference, but the instructor also, because you want to know the credentials of where they got their black belt and their legitimacy of their black belt. Because when someone asks you point blank, like, hey, who are you training under, you should know right away. Like for me, Josh Koscheck, Brian Gonzalez, John Salter, Thiago Alves, Jeff Messina, Alex Circoni. I mean, the list goes on and on, but you need to know those off the top of your head because, again, you've been training under them for many, many years. It should be very apparent to you who you're training under. So when you ask somebody point blank, hey, I really appreciate you coming by. Let me show your gym. Who do you train under? Give me your background. What are your specifics here that you like to train? And if you find them being stumped and not giving you a clear context of the background that they're from, that's a big red flag. So we're going to hop into a video. I want to show you guys something really quick here, and it's just something very apparent, which is very true. Okay, so hold on one second. Let me pull you in here really quick, okay? We got a guy at a UFC gym here claiming he's a black belt, and it looks like he got hurt.
Are you the manager?
And he's talking to one of the guys that's training with, is questioning him out.
Yeah, but where did you get your black belt at?
Now he asked that question, no response.
He clearly doesn't have a black belt.
Jeremy does?
Yes, sir. He clearly does not have a black belt.
Should be listing him off just like I said.
No, I'm not smoking crack, dude. I've been training.
Seriously, you can ask him.
I've trained with black belts. This guy's not a black belt. Why would he say he's a black belt? Who's your black belt coach?
Right there. You should be able to list them all, where you're from, how long you've been doing it.
Whenever you got a guy
and on top of that, he said, hey, I can go bring my black belt here in a second. I can show you my black belt.
Just like I told Terry, I will bring my black belt.
I don't care. I can go get a black belt off of eBay. But here's the deal.
And that's very true. Anybody can order a black belt off Amazon and eBay and, say that they're a black belt. But when you really go to a gym, that's when you're going to, figure out who really is and who isn't. So that video just kind of claims about people can say they're a black belt, but you really need to figure out where they're from, because that obviously we have credentials just like a resume. And then we also need to see them in practice. Okay, so let's say they have a good resume and they say all the right things. Now let's watch what they do and how they practice. And so a good legitimate reason, or a good legitimate thing to start out with, we've all seen the UFC. We've all seen some wrestling, in our days, our heydays in high school and college. And we kind of know the basics of a basic takedown and what looks fluid and what doesn't. And again, when you see your coach or when you see a potential coach that you want to go check out, watch how they teach, if they're able to describe it, if they're able to break it down, why they do it. For example, let's look into this guy. Here's a great example. Big heavy set guy. We're going to rock into it here. What kind of single leg is this? Okay, let's check it out. I mean, does that look like a black belt? Okay, I'll show you something too. Okay. First thing I want to point out, when you see a black belt with their gi way too big, that's your first red flag. And I'm guilty of this myself because vanity. It's vanity. Listen, I'm a 4-year jiu-jitsu black belt now. I've been training for 14 years. I already said all the stuff. But my point is, when I wear my gi, it is fitted like a suit. I am so vain. I want it nice and tight. I want it fitted. I want my belt to be nice and perfect, and I want it to be worn just a little bit so it looks like I've been, training a lot. But yeah, I do train a lot. But my point is that this guy, look how baggy his pants are. Look how big this is. It's not really fitted, and that looks just like a brand new black belt. And so what he's doing, he's showing these kids how to do a takedown, right? That doesn't look like a solid takedown, right? Even if it is a single leg, like for instance, like that right there, that's a double leg. The double leg, the head is on the outside. Okay, the single leg, the head is on the inside. So like I said, you got to do some diligence when you're watching before watching some tape. And on top of that too, go look them up on YouTube. See if they're able to, show off, if they've been training, if they go to tournaments, because that's also important too. You really want your instructor to be very active, in training and doing comps. And if they're a little older, I totally understand. Like I had an instructor over here in Houston, Jeff Messina, great guy, got a great solid gym, good community, and no BS there. Anybody who comes out of line, you're out. And it's not like it's like a dictatorship. It's just more that we have values, and if those values aren't aligned, if your values aren't aligned with ours, and you try to poison it, it's a no-go. And that's good, because that's what represents you and your community. So I say that because we want a strong community in jiu-jitsu, and you also want to be safe and feeling good and whatever. So definitely do your credentials, definitely see what's going on. And the last thing I want to say is, when you have a black belt, when you go see a black belt and they pretend to, you're going to get called out. Okay, so they're out there. You need to watch what's out there. But just for example, like here, if you see,
No, his black belt.
I studied with him, sir.
You study with him. Did you get a black belt from him?
I almost got it.
You almost get it. So you're not a black belt.
But I have the accident.
So you're not a black belt.
And I black out.
But you're not a black. Take that fucking belt off right now, dude.
Sorry.
You're not a fucking black belt, dude.
Apologize for that for the verbiage there, but it's true, man. You're going to get called out, and so you really want to not see your instructor, show some really shady moves or things that aren't working, because that's going to get you hurt, and that's going to get you in trouble. So don't ever believe when someone says, like, oh, like he said, I almost got it, or I was right there. It doesn't matter. We've shown a video too, like a purple belt, saying that he is a purple belt, but he's not. And the rank, it's not about the color itself. The color represents time, but it also it's like how can I say this? It's like hot sauce. God, I'm so brilliant here. It's like hot sauce. When you see mild, medium, hot, spicy, extra spicy, that gives you just a notion of like, okay, it's going to be hot. I kind of know the level. I'm going to try it out, right? I can anticipate what I'm going to get here when I eat that, salsa dip. And it's the same thing with the color, right? Okay, blue belt, he's going to know some stuff, maybe a little trick here or there. Purple belt, ooh, he's going to be sneaky. He's probably got his own game going on. Brown belt, super solid. And then you got the black, dude's got everything locked and loaded. So it's more about it's more about seeing where someone's at. And that's why I say you can get hurt, is because if the instructor's showing something wrong to you, you can get hurt, he can get hurt, and you're learning something that's very wrong. So again, I just want to make sure that you guys are out there doing your due diligence, and it's okay to shop around. Again, that's why you always get that first class for free, to make sure you like what you like. So it's like the first date. Go on the first date, go on another date, go on a third date, and that way you got some selections of what you want to go through, because that way you know what you want, how you feel, and how you feel good about it. I hope this helps you guys in your jiu-jitsu journey. Again, I applaud you. Don't ever be scared. And if you can, always be vocal about how you're feeling. And if someone gives you anything back, that's a red flag. Love you guys. Have a great, fantastic day. Train safe, train smart. See ya.